Welcome to the latest, the right mindset. As you can see, we like to go with the mindset theme. Gorilla mindset, MAGA mindset, the right mindset. Tonight, we'll start off with very exciting news. There has been a third arrest. That's right. For those of you who remember the gorilla mindset, there we go. One of these days I'll remember. I got to create a checklist. The power checklist. I don't know if you've ever read the research on this, but I'm a big believer in checklists. So right now I had audio on as I'm watching the live stream, which is going to interfere with the reception because I didn't have a checklist. So I need to create a checklist. In life, you need to create a checklist for everything you do. But back to the breaking news, the exciting news. There's been a third arrest. That's right. There was a planned terrorist attack on the Deplorable, which is an event I co-hosted in Washington, D.C. during Inauguration Week, which everybody said was the best party of Inauguration Week. They were planning on putting acid through the ventilation system, killing people. We don't even know fully the extent of their terrorism. And they got real, what do you want to say, a little froggy. Are you familiar with that expression? If you feel froggy, then leap. They were froggy on Twitter, and they admitted that they had done it after James O'Keefe and Project Veritas caught them on video. They admitted they were going to do it, and they said, it's no big deal, you're overreacting. Well, the police sure think it's a big deal. 2 of them have been arrested. 2 more were out on the lam. There's a manhunt for them. So now we got a third arrest, Colin Dunn. So score one for the good guys. And let that be a reminder that this is what modern politics is. The Donald Trump supporters, people like me, people like you, the new right, we face terrorist threats and terrorist attack every day. They're the violent ones. The left are the violent ones. But we will use the legal system. We're not going to let them defeat us and terrorize us. And for those of you, by the way, who are following along, last year in October at a pro-Trump rally in West Hollywood, 2 women were arrested for assaulting a Trump supporter. And now 3 people have been arrested for this deplorable stuff. So that's 5 people. Where's the story? Where's the top news on CNN? Where's the media coverage? 5 people have been arrested for violent attacks. I have police reports. I've given Jake Tapeworm and Brian Stuper and all those idiots. I gave them all the police report. No coverage. Where's the coverage? We now have 5 people who have been arrested facing criminal charges for political violence. But the media wants to talk about a few mean tweets here and there. What's that tell you? It tells you everything. We got more exciting news, which is Milo is going to be on Bill Maher. So Milo is going to be on Bill Maher. I knew this last week. I told you we had a big announcement from Milo, but I can keep a secret. I'm also reading Milo's book, Dangerous. I have an advanced copy, Dangerous by Milo. Tops. It's already a New York Times bestseller. And it might be a #1 New York Times bestseller. Wow, I'm getting journalism tips right now as I do this show. I have news coming, and I can't share this one, though. This one's private. So Milo's going to be a Bill Maher, which prompted a co-founder of The Intercept. What is this guy's name? What is his name? Jeremy Scahill. Jeremy Scahill is a co-founder of The Intercept, and he says he's a fearless journalist. But when he found out that Milo was going to be on the show with him, he quit. He ran away and is hiding. Here's what he said. Today I saw the news that Milo Yiannopoulos is scheduled to be the lead guest on Friday's episode of Real Time with Bill Maher. I was already scheduled to be a panelist on the program that same evening, along with Larry Wilmore, I don't know who that is, and Jake Kingston, don't know who that is. I've decided that I will not be appearing on the show. Wah, 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 cry, cry, cry. Cry more. We're keeping it family friendly. But if you think of what Milo's tour is called, so we'll think of what is Milo's tour called, and then we'll take away the first word of what Milo's tour is called. Well, no, we're not going to go there. You can figure it out for yourself. We don't talk like that. It's family friendly. But definitely cry more, you big baby, because Milo's going to be on the show. Now, what these people are doing, there's an argument they make which is about normalization. They always say, I'm not going to be on the same show as Milo Yiannopoulos because it's going to normalize him. It's going to normalize him. And I hear that too. I do. When I went on Fox News, people lost their minds. Ben Shapiro even freaked out. Red State freaked out because they're all jealous of me. And they're always talking about normalization. They say it about Trump, too. I don't know, maybe they forgot that there was an election. Trump is president of the United States. He's been normalized. Milo is a New York Times bestselling author. He's been normalized. I am doing, hundreds of millions of views a month across my platforms. I'm normalized. I don't need to go on a show with a given person. If that person is there, they're not normalizing me. They're not legitimizing me. They're not making me real. People like Milo, me, we're real. We're already in the game. But they're trying to shade him. They're trying to hold him back. But it's not going to work. General Flynn, by the way, we talked enough about him. That was a big story, though. They want to... The latest General Flynn news, though, is that he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything, and nobody will release the transcripts. So allegedly, there was a transcript showing that General Flynn talked about sanctions with Russia, and allegedly, Flynn had told Mike Pence that he had never talked to Russia. And you know what? That transcript is nowhere to be found. It's totally fake news. Mike Pence, I don't know what's wrong with him. Well, I mean, when Trump announced the Mike Pence pick, I got a lot of anger from people. Because I said, I don't think it should have been him. Sure enough, it is. Hold on, I got breaking news right now coming in. We got a lot going on here. Wow. Yeah, I can't go public. I can't go public with this. We'll have some more news for you, though, probably next week. We'll get it out there. But we got news coming in all the time. Because unlike the fake news media, I actually have sources. They don't have them. That's why they have to make up their stories. Other stuff going on, Paris, there are riots in Paris. Fake news spread the lie that police officers in Paris had raped a Muslim teenager. The Muslims now in Paris are burning down things, rioting. You're not going to find that, of course, on American news. By the way, are any of these tweets showing up as we kind of talk about them? I have this little list here of tweets, and we're figuring things out as we go along. But when I talk about these things, ideally tweets will be popping up in the corner and showing. So I'll read your comments whether or not they're showing up. If not, we're going to figure out how to make it happen. We're going to figure out how to do it. We're all learning and growing together. Oh, and we're also going to have call-in show, by the way. We always take in calls. So I think we'll break up the usual flow and we'll start taking calls.
You are the first.
We'll start taking calls right now. If you want to call in and talk, it is 866-438-1487. That is 866-438-1487. I should have that memorized by now. 866-438-1487. Call and ask me anything about the news, about politics. Some day after Valentine's Day, too, so you can ask me about love. Wonkette did a whole hate article on me, which I thought was pretty funny. The writer, the women, the liberals in D.C., the women, they're so in love with me. Wonkette did a whole long article, what was essentially the equivalent of a teenage girl, right, like pushing your books down and giggling and running away and flirting with you. It was really quite cute, actually. All right, we got some callers coming in. Hold on, we'll get you going right away. But again, it is 866-438-1487. And then we're going to have the soundboard hooked up too. We got little things on the to-do list. One is that I need little tweets to start showing up here as we do the show. And then two is I got to get a soundboard installed so that the audio of the calls go right through. But hey, we're figuring this out as we go along. Yeah, it was funny. The Wonkette article was actually Don't Date Mike Cernovich. It's pretty hilarious. I usually don't link to the hate articles about me because there's so many. I wouldn't have time to do anything else. But it is a belated alt-right Valentine from your boyfriend Mike Cernovich and his magic, we'll just say magic S, the S word. Well, I'm not alt-right, but I thought it was cute. So they're trying to be very snarky. This is the way they write. It's very cute. Did you know that Cernovich is the greatest relationship expert on the whole entire planet? He is. He does not know anyone who knows more about relationships than he does. And of course, they're being sarcastic and snarky. He is a relationship prodigy. He is the little man Tate of human interactions. He has tried to think of people who know more about relationships than he does, and he just comes up empty. He simply cannot fathom it. So on it goes like this for 5,000 words or something. To be honest, I didn't even read the whole article. It was like a long form article about me, and I'm thinking, just get to the point. Just get to the point. I know that you have a crush on me, and I'm all right with that, but just get to the point. Santa Monica, California, how you doing?
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Great, man.
Hey, I appreciate you showing the support. Man, everything you've done has been awesome.
Thank you.
Sorry, my volume's a little high right now. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm listening. I said thank you.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to give a shout out to you. We will prevail. I mean, honestly, we will. The time is now. We are together, and everybody has awoken.
Yeah, I definitely think people are waking up more and more, especially with more fake news stories being exposed, and people are realizing how important alternative media is.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for the
and
call.
Everything that's going.
Oh, do you have a question? Or yeah, go ahead. If you have a question, go ahead. We're listening. We're tuning in.
No, I'm good, brother. I just wanted to point out, what everybody's talking about. Get off of Trump's path. Let him do what he has to do. Look back at Obama's crap, and where the hell was that stuff? Anyways, I'm out. Thank you very much, Mike.
Appreciate
Love
it.
you.
Love you too.
Thanks.
Yeah, he raises a good point. Ted Cruz even trolled Twitter a little bit. Ted Cruz even trolled Twitter a little bit where he posted a link to a video saying, oh my God, the president was caught talking to an emissary from Russia about sanctions against Russia. And then you click on it, it's ABC News, where Obama in 2012 goes, we can talk about this when I'm reelected. So yeah, this is all, people are really seeing through this, that where's the media been for 8 years? Where have they been? Suddenly they're attacking Trump, and if they attack Democrats like this, I would have no problem with it. Let me be very clear. If Democrats win as hard on, or if the media win as hard on Democrats as they win on Republicans, then I would have absolutely no problem with this at all, but they don't. They only go on one side, and that's why the whole thing is rigged. And that's my problem with the fake news media. All right, we got another call coming in from New Jersey. How you doing? You got to mute me.
Oh, hey, Mike, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
Good. This is Donna. I've been listening to your show for several months, and I think the work that you do is fabulous. Keep it up. I'm in full support. I'm very concerned about the crazy left. They don't seem to want to stop. Apparently, there's a nationwide strike going on this Friday. I live in Philly area. There's different protests. They're trying to shut down businesses. They're so anti-American. I just don't even understand where their thinking is coming from.
Yeah, it's getting violent. It's definitely getting.
I just want to stop people from shopping or close your businesses, or it's. I don't know. Is there anything that the administration can do? Obviously we don't want martial law.
Well, the administration needs to prosecute Antifa, these left-wing terrorist organizations. They need to prosecute them as a terrorist organization, because here's what's frustrating me, because there's a lot of people know I was an early and vocal Trump supporter, but I'm not a Trump cheerleader. I can call things out as I see them. Why is it that I got 5 people in handcuffs who committed crimes against Trump supporters? Why aren't Trump's team, why aren't they getting people in handcuffs who commit violence, right? They got to step up.
Yeah.
They got to step up, because we don't need martial law. All we need them to do is enforce the existing law. The liberals they're breaking the law. Arrest them.
Exactly, but you've said it a million times. The Republicans, for the most part, are just like the Democrats. There's no separation between them, other than Tea Party candidates that got in when Obama got in, all the other ones, the McCains, Lindsey Graham, they've got to go. And they all get intimidated by the left, and everybody just lays down and lets them get away with it. If you and I went out and committed a crime, there's no city that would offer us sanctuary.
Well, and not only that, but they're going after Kellyanne Conway. They're actually going after Trump's people. Republicans are going after General Flynn. There are crimes being committed by the left every day, violent crimes, and nobody in the Republican Party seems to care about that. But they're all wound up. Yeah, it's crazy,
and
right?
The media is violent.
Well, we know the media is, right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we know the media is, but where's the GOP? Why aren't they stepping up?
I don't know. They should be investigating these leaks. They should be investigating that Chuck Todd is saying that, that this General Flynn situation is worse than 9/11, and Brian Williams, or one of them, not Brian Williams, Dan Rather, said the same thing. We were attacked on, Pearl Harbor, then 9/11, and now we've had this attack. And in my personal opinion, this whole Russian thing is so out of control. It's just to perpetuate the lie that, they needed an excuse why Hillary lost. They've never proven that Russia even hacked anything.
No, they have. There's no evidence at all, other than the assertions of anonymous people, unknown people, that, unlike with WikiLeaks, where we can actually read the data and read the material, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen any transcripts. We haven't seen any evidence, other than people expect us to blindly follow them. It's crazy.
Well, and now they're doing it in Europe, because now Le Pen, she's with Russia. Russia's helping her. Russia's supposed to be going against Angela Merkel. It's insanity. I think these globalists, the George Soros and like, really want to perpetuate some kind of war, and the people on the left are so freaking stupid they don't even realize what they're protesting. You know what I mean? Like, they're protesting for that globalization and the big wars, and folks just wants to get us jobs.
Well,
I don't get it.
Yeah, no, they don't get it. They're slaves ultimately. It's frustrating to see so many people confused, but what can we do other than wake more people up? Thanks for the call.
Yeah, well, in any small way, I think at some point we're going to have, I know Trump's doing a rally at an airport in Florida this weekend. I think we're going to have to, protest the protester, or, you know what I mean? Like, show up in support of, and, I don't know how to get that going. I've got some health issues that kind of get in the way, but I'm in, and
yeah.
I think at some point we're going to have to go out and, stand on the opposite side of the street from these people, so that Trump knows he's got the support.
Well, in the midterm elections, we're going to have to step up, because a lot of things that I'm seeing that I don't like is that a lot of people have denial, and a lot of people are saying that, oh, no, these women's marches don't mean anything. Who cares? It isn't real. They're real. There were millions of people.
Oh, they're real.
Yeah, and I'm tired of hearing people say, who's supposedly on our side, saying, oh, who cares? It doesn't mean anything. Oh, they're real. And if we don't get our mind right, yeah.
If you have I have family members that are on that side, and let me tell you, I am so heart hurt, not sight hurt, heart hurt from my integrity is in question. I've never had my integrity questioned because I supported Trump for the right reason. You know what I mean? Like, the thinking is so bizarre to me. I can't even, I try and understand where they're coming from. I just don't get it. I just can't think that way.
No, I agree.
But they're real, and they're dangerous.
We better be prepared for 2018, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keep up the good work, my friend. I'm going to stay listening, and
Thank
you're
you.
awesome.
Thank you for the call.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube messes with the numbers. Right now, they say there's only 370 people watching live, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if YouTube is maybe throttling. Maybe YouTube is throttling right side, because I can do a Periscope and, eat a chicken sandwich and get 378 people watching. So I wonder what's really going on here with these YouTube numbers. I wonder if YouTube is maybe throttling right side broadcasting network to keep because a lot of people are tweeting the links out on Twitter. I'm seeing it. So I'm real suspicious about what is going on right now, because if you do a Twitter search for The Right Mindset. People on Twitter, a lot of people on Twitter are posting links to it. I have a big social media, obviously, on Twitter. I post it to my Facebook. So something is really off. I wonder if Right Side is being throttled. Because remember when, during the campaign, Right Side's ability to live stream broadcast was suspended for no reason given? Do you remember that? I remember that specifically. Right Side, you'll remember, was the only group that would live stream the Trump rallies, and they would live stream them, and they would show the crowd, which none of the media would do. The media never wanted to show the crowd. So it actually became a big talking point with Trump, which is that he would say the media will never show the crowd, and Right Side would show the crowds, and then Right Side's ability to live stream, and Right Side isn't controversial. They don't use bad language, and then that was cut off completely. So something is going on here. I definitely very suspicious. And that isn't like my ego or anything talking. The numbers, from my perspective and analytics, don't make any kind of sense. I can tweet out a link to a blog post at Danger and Play, and I'll have way more than 378 people reading that article just in one tweet. So if my article is about General Flynn, if I tweet that out within a minute, there are over thousands of people often reading my site simultaneously. So I don't know what the numbers are doing here, but there's something really, really shady going on, and we definitely got to get the book because people are sharing it. That's the whole thing. I'm reading it live on Twitter. On Twitter, Robert Evans, Jeff, Miss Apropos, the Labsman, Russell, Gwen, Pam, Camellia, Marcus, America First, Jackie, Jim. Trump is my right. So you can read all kinds of people are sharing socially. I've tweeted a link out to my Facebook and to my Twitter. There's really something shady going on here. I'm not sure what it is, but I think maybe they're going after Right Side. Maybe they're just completely throttling. Because again, my Periscope numbers, this just does not make any sense at all. So I'm thinking there's something going on with YouTube, and maybe YouTube is kind of messing with. Also, Right Side has 244,000 subscribers. Yeah, so Right Side has 244,000 subscribers, and I have now 210,000 Twitter followers, and I have a good enough Facebook page. Something is going on. This does not make any. How does Right Side have 244,000 subscribers? And I have my Twitter, which we all know drives a ton of traffic. And I have it on my Facebook. What is going on? I think that maybe they're trying to shut down Right Side. I don't know. Maybe this is censorship or something. Something's weird, though. I think they're trying to. I think this is maybe their way of censoring Right Side Broadcasting Network. People are saying I share all these streams in my Facebook group, and most of the groups have thousands of people. Yeah, and other people are saying, Mike, you go on Periscope in the afternoon, and you get thousands of people within minutes. That's the thing. I'm not saying I should have 1 million people watching my Periscope. I'm not saying, or podcast. I'm not saying 1 million people should be watching. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, though, that I know analytics and I know data, and I know what my Periscopes do, and I know what my blog posts do, and I know what my social media does, and I know what my own private YouTube is very small. Very small. Only 20,000 subscribers, just because I don't do much with it. My own private YouTube, I get more live viewers than watching me right now on Right Side. Right? Think about that. I get more live viewers on my private YouTube, which is just small, less than 20,000 followers, 20,000 subscribers or whatever, than Right Side is getting with 244,747 subscribers. Right? It does. Again, it isn't. I'm not saying what should be. I'm not saying that there should be 10,000 people watching live now, but I'm just saying that the data is inconsistent, right? If I had 400 people watching me live on Periscope, that's usually, to me, that's a bad Periscope. I should just cut it off and maybe do it again in the afternoon, right? So if I were doing a Periscope and I only had 400 people watching, I'd be like, okay, now's not the right time to Periscope, and I would just kill it, and then I'd do another Periscope later because 400 So I think that right side is being, because it isn't happening to me on YouTube. On YouTube, I'm doing fine. I think right side is being deliberately targeted by YouTube. That is really the only explanation, right? There isn't an explanation. Like how could this be, right? How could this be? So I guess the real test will be Trump is going to be doing a rally in Florida this Saturday. Right side usually covers these rallies, so watch the live stream count during the Trump rally in Florida. If that rally isn't doing at least, 20,000 people watching it simultaneously, then we know for sure. So everybody pay real close attention. Saturday, there's going to be the Trump rally in Florida. Right side is going to live stream it. Watch the follower count, the live follower count. We got to see what's going on. Anyway, no big deal to me personally. I want right side to make it. I don't want to see them be censored. It's very tough to be a media startup. That's the whole thing, is being a media startup, especially conservative media startup, because you can't get traditional advertisers. They'll call you hate speech. So hard to make it. It's so hard to make it, and I want to see right side. They're really doing the right things, but it's hard to make it when you can't get conventional advertising. So at the very least, you ought to be able to get YouTube ads, but if they're throttling you on YouTube, they're cutting off your ad revenue. So this isn't about me, because again, like I said, I got Periscope, my own YouTube, I podcast, blog, books. I got a lot going on. But I don't want to see this happening to right side. So we need to figure out, is YouTube censoring right side? Let's pay real close attention to these numbers on Saturday. And right side, remember, right side was the only, right side was the only media company, that was covering every Trump rally and showing the crowd and not lying about people. So it'll be a big loss for the conservative and right-wing media ecosystem if we lose right side. Who's going to live stream the rallies if Trump has them again? Very, very big deal. Monitor this situation closely. This is not good. This is very, very, very disturbing. Hi, Houston, Texas. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. How are you? Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, Mike. You are the best. You guys, alternative media. I'm at work, so I can't take too long. But I just have a comment that I love you guys. I love you. Anytime I see on YouTube like Stefan and you were doing a show, anything like that, I just go ahead and listen to it. Because of you, I got introduced to Stefan Marionette, Alex Jones, Scott Adams, just amazing people. Black Pigeon Speaks is also another great channel. And almost 90% of my subscriptions have been censored or demonetized on their channels. I'm just hearing that so much from YouTube that they're just, for the conservatives and anyone who's on the right side of the political spectrum, they just block them. I don't know for what reason. They're just always restricting them from making or exposing any contact. But you guys are doing a great job. You guys helped the God Emperor win, and I feel privileged to know everybody and consume the content from you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, YouTube. I signed up originally for YouTube monetization a long time ago, and then I disabled monetization because I don't really want advertising on my video. And but they still have the default. They still have a default which has me monetizing videos, and they're unmonetizing videos that are critical of Hillary Clinton, right? And I don't.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't care because I don't make my money off of ads. I make my money off of book sales. I just thought it was funny that every video I had that was critical of Hillary Clinton, they demonetized. And that's why I think they're throttling with right side broadcasting. That's the whole problem, is that we know that YouTube.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think they're going after right side. I think they're trying to shut right side down.
I'm getting a little cut off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, gotcha.
But hey, thanks a lot, Mike. I'll talk to you, and I love your work, and just keep up the great work.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
You have a great day.
Good.
Right. This isn't now. This isn't a conspiracy theory. YouTube actually demonetizes videos that are critical of Hillary Clinton or that talk about any kind of political issue from a right-wing perspective. So that's what I think is happening here. They're probably making it so that the people who subscribe to Right Side aren't getting notified when new content is appearing on Right Side. Because here, let's do a quick. I'm going to click over to Right Side. This is very, very serious, by the way, because this is about Right Side. I'm going to be fine either way, but I would hate to see this. So yeah, so a lot of the Right Side videos, 5,000, 3,000, 3,300, 3,400. So Bill Mitchell's show should be doing way more than 3,400 views. So Your Voice Radio with Bill Mitchell on February 8th, 3,400 views. That can't be right. There's no way in the world on a channel with 244,000 subscribers with Bill Mitchell, 3,400 views. That doesn't make any sense at all. That makes zero. There's no way in the world that that's right. Bill Mitchell's other show, when's his recent show? Bill Mitchell did a show February 10th, 3,700 views. Yeah, something's off here. If I were Right Side, I would be in touch with YouTube, and there might not be much you can do, but I would get to the bottom of this, because there should be way more views. So maybe there's a technical glitch. I know Right Side has a bunch of different cameras running simultaneously. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know, but this is a very, very serious issue, and it needs to be investigated thoroughly. Hi, Chicago. You're live. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago. Maybe you can't hear me? No, you can hear me. All right. We'll come back to you maybe. Westchester, New York. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Love you, bro. Thanks for everything you do. Not what I called about, but we know for a fact that Right Side is a monetized channel. They get paid, by views. I know for a fact that, obviously Joe Seals is doing that. It would be, stupid of him not to, for the network. And it's obvious with the way Twitter is censoring positive replies to Trump's tweets, which I'm sure you know about. Why would YouTube not do it to halt the income flow for a place that they obviously hate, being the SJWs that they are in Right Side? Of course they're going to say your video has 300, 400 people watching when it has, 1,800 or 2,000. Of course they're going to do that. And they're going to do that across the board on Right Side. Mike, I don't know if you ever listened to Michael Savage. Did you ever listen to him currently or in the past?
So I actually have... Hold on a sec, a little interference. So there's actually a little funny story. Like 20 years ago, I read Mike Savage's book, which I think was Language Borders Culture. Does that make sense? Did he ever have a book called Language?
No, that's his slogan, Borders, Language Culture. He had a book, The Enemy Within. He's had a lot of great books through the years.
Yeah, so I read his book like 20 years ago, and so I would occasionally listen to his show and how it was done.
Well, he's great, and he was on the air today, and he's saying, where are the people in our military, the good people, the people who are patriots? Why are they not right now standing up to Chuck Schumer, to these crazies like Maxine Waters, to the intelligence people that are on the bad side? Where are the good people? Are they just laying low in anticipation of something else? Are they keeping their mouths shut for now? Do you anticipate the good people coming forward to help us in our fight? Because obviously there's not everyone out there in the military, the patriots out there, love Hillary, love Podesta, love Obama. I mean, they know what these people have done to our country, and they hate it. And it seems like this coup is going on, but we forget that there's good people out there. And I want your perspective on this, because I want to know what you think, because there are good people out there, Mike, who are on our side of the fight. And, want to hear what you think about that, man.
Yeah, the big issue is that we outnumber everything that matters. Military, law enforcement, gun owners, everything, we outnumber them. But we also follow the rules. So the good people, it's kind of a cliche, but it's kind of true. Conservatives are a little bit more square, a little bit more law-abiding than liberals are. So the good people are afraid to do what the lawless liberals do. I mean, think about it. We didn't have leaks. We now have the intelligence community, or so-called intelligence community, openly saying that they're going to try to get Trump in prison, allegedly leaking information to the fake news media. Our side wasn't doing that to Obama, were we? We weren't doing that to Obama.
Yeah, what happened to, you don't jail your political opponents, all this nonsense, the reason why we can't go after Hillary. You know what, if they keep this up, man, a lot of people on their side are going to go into jail, because it's just going to reach a boiling point where these treasonous people, these seditious people on the left are going to be gone after. Mike, do you agree with that?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a great point. Exactly. Remember when Trump made a tongue-in-cheek thing about, he said, well, if I'm president, Hillary, you'll be in jail. And everybody goes, oh my God, we're talking about jailing our political opponents. How terrible. We're triggered. This is awful. And now what people are saying is we need to jail Donald Trump, even though he hasn't done anything remotely illegal. You're right. It's a banana republic.
And at that point, if they try to, quote, jail Trump, which obviously is horseshit, sorry to curse, but if they try to do that, at that point, we are no longer America. We're Venezuela. We're Colombia. We're something else. And at that point, that's when, if they're trying to do something like that, that's when the uprising will happen. And no one wants to see it. But, man, it's hard to envision us living in the same country with these lunatics. I mean, these people on the left, their brains don't function right, man. They're in a crazy fervor that it defies all logic and all reason, and it's truthfully getting really hard to live with people who think like this, man.
You know, what'll happen is it'll tip over, and then the right will take over. It'll happen. But when it does happen, it'll be scary for them. That's why I tell people on the left, I've told them, I said, if you think that I'm a little bit radical, then wait until you see what is going to come after me. Because most people who follow me think that I'm not radical enough. And there will be a pushback, and it will be not good for the left. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Hey, what are you going to do? It won't be good for the Sarah Silverman types who think they're real tough on Twitter and everything. But when it comes down to it, man, I don't think they really want what they're asking for. And Mike, you're the best, once again, to reiterate. Thank you, bro, for everything you do, man. You're really a special, special talent.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the issue, is where were the leaks during the Obama administration? He was in there for 8 years, and last I checked, conservatives and right-wing people and Republicans were not leaking classified information to the press. Where were they? Right? We had been, and maybe it's our fault, by the way. That's why we lose. Maybe, a lot of people don't want to answer this question. They get mad at me when I raise it, but maybe we deserve to lose. If we think that we're above it all and we're not going to play by the rules that the left plays by, then maybe we deserve to lose our country. Because there were no leaks, there was no sabotage going on against Obama, no Benghazi leaks. I sure would have liked to know what really happened with Benghazi, what really happened. Hillary Clinton's emails, we had to get that from WikiLeaks. We didn't get anything from the intelligence community. And Hillary Clinton sold 20% of the world's supply of uranium to Russia. Remember that? Hillary Clinton sold uranium to Russia. She took bribes from Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Where were the leaks? So the left, maybe they want it more. Maybe they want it more, and maybe they deserve to win. Because ultimately in life, whoever wants it more wins. And if they want it more and we're just going to let them walk over us, hard to feel sorry for us. Hi, we got another caller from New York. How you doing?
Hello?
How are you? We hear you.
It's me again. It's Libertas again. I called
a
couple weeks ago.
How you doing, man?
It's been a pretty wild ride. Now, I wanted to ask you this from one persuader to another. You're trained in persuasion. I've been studying persuasion. And the moment I saw this whole Russia hysteria in December, it clicked to me that, okay, this is a hypnosis game that the intelligence people are playing. They might be short on facts, but these people know propaganda, they know persuasion, they know counter-propaganda. And what I thought they were doing with the Russia stuff was that they were setting up a confirmation bias trap, just like Trump did in the campaign, where they would take the issue so far out there into the realm of the most wild possible speculation you could think of, that Russia hacked the election, whatever that means, and thereby they would just dominate all the space on that issue. So nobody had any room to maneuver on Russia. So if Trump looked the least bit suspicious, meaning that he didn't toe the foreign policy establishment's line on Russia, there was going to be that confirmation bias trap. Flynn, unfortunately, tripped the wire with his conversation with the ambassador.
The alleged conversation that we've never seen a transcript for, that we don't even know if that happened.
We don't even know, but
right.
that's the trap they laid, right?
Right.
That's the persuasion was successful in that way. And what I'm thinking is, how are we going to respond to all this? Because this is, you know these tactics, I know these tactics. Are we going to have some kind of quick response squad that can counterattack against these fake news journalists that are putting this stuff out there, maybe go after them personally, dig dirt on them? Roosh kind of proposed this a couple of years ago, but I think it's getting more important now that we have to have some kind of quick response team with our own tactics, because these guys know what they're doing. These are not like the useful idiots that are out there that they're moving with their persuasion game, because they are so stuck. They're so stuck in cognitive dissonance that what I'm seeing right now is the CIA is basically tasting and leaving the left, which supposedly is supposed to hate these people, but they are in such meltdown mode now that they are in such a state of suggestibility that the CIA and the intelligence people are literally hypnotizing them into accepting the rule of these unelected spooks. So this is, and Glenn Greenwald's been saying it, Mike Tracy's been saying it, but they're pretty much the only ones on the left that have been saying it. So what are we going to do persuasion-wise to counteract this? I think we're going to have to be at the same level of intensity that we were during the campaign.
Yeah, I definitely respect the left. So from a strictly amoral fan of Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, the world is will and representation, the left want it more right now than the right does. The big money is all backing the media companies. The billionaires are backing the companies. And the left is fighting hard, and they're fighting to win, and they want it. They want it. So I respect their imposition of will. Another, speaking of persuasion, I got this from a reader tip. I'm not sure who sent it. Maybe it was you. But they said, have you noticed the term erode and erosion has become common now? Everywhere you look, they say, the trust in Trump is eroding. Everywhere you look, it's erosion. Well, that is a persuasion move, probably from Cialdini and Cialdini's people. So once you know what the matrix is going on, you can recognize these kind of tactics. You're right. What we need a social media strike force. We need more people. We need more people doing hard-hitting journalism on the right. We have Breitbart, and they have CNN, Washington Post, LA Times, Boston Globe, New York Times, The New Yorker, The Atlantic, BuzzFeed. They have everything. They have 99% of the media. We have Fox News and we have Breitbart. And then, of course, there are other, good sites like InfoWars and things. And we're good on social media. And we have Stefan Molyneux. So we're not completely out of the game, but let's not be delusional. This is where people get mad at me because I'm not a cheerleader. I'm realistic, which is we are outgunned, man. We are outgunned. As big as my social media is and as powerful as it is, that's just one drop compared to everything that they have. And yeah, we need a social media strike force. We need more people. The problem, though, is that you can't make any money doing this. You can't make money doing advertising. If you're Right Side Broadcasting Network and you expand, they'll cut off your views. They'll rig it so I'm only getting 450 people watching me during a show. Get out of here. Bill Mitchell only doing 3,500 page views. Get out of here. That's crazy. I could take a picture of my sandwich and get that kind of, right? So they're being, deliberately attacked by YouTube. So it's hard. What we really need is we need a couple billionaires to step up and start funding right-wing journalism and realize that, yes, you're going to lose money. Twitter loses money, okay? The Daily Beast loses money. Politico loses money. The New York Times, most of these companies are losing a lot of money or they have lost money in the past. We need the big billionaires to step up and realize, look, man, this country's over if we don't start taking control of media. And yeah, that means you're going to lose money. I have given a lot of my time to the cause. I could be making a lot more money doing other different things, but I really believe that we are at the precipice of the destruction of the world as we know it. So yeah,
well,
we need.
already are. I mean, look at this. Sorry to interrupt, but this goes deeper than Trump or left or right now. Is that
it's deep state. Yeah, it ain't even Trump. Yeah.
And they know that the left is in such a meltdown mode, like a Chernobyl meltdown mode, that they are in a prime state for hypnosis. And that is exactly what they're doing. They're using their hate of Trump to pace and lead them into accepting the rule of these unelected spooks. And that's the scariest thing of all of this.
Well, and what's fascinating? Have you ever read Shadow Man?
Yeah, I think I have, actually. As small as I am.
Probably. I promoted. So Dr. Anthony Napoleon wrote a book called Shadow Men and talked about how there's really a shadow government that controls everything and makes all the big decisions. And when I recommended it, people go, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. And, Dr. Anthony Napoleon doesn't know anything. Is a conspiracy theorist. So now everybody, this is what's frustrating about human beings who are brainwashed and hypnotized. Now everybody's like, oh, yeah, the deep state. The deep state. Well, hold on. Why don't we take a step back and think, why were people saying that people like me who talked about the shadow governments and the deep state, I was called a lunatic a month ago. And then now today it's taken for granted that the deep state exists. That shows the level of mass hypnosis that we're dealing with as far as people go and how unaware most people are. Though people still believe the media, man. People still believe Mike Pence still believes the Washington Post and makes personnel decisions by it. He's still brainwashed. He's still brainwashed. That's the sad thing. Even the vice president, anybody who believes what they read in the Washington Post is dealing with hypnosis. Very, very bad. Thanks for your call.
Well, I'm glad Trump is going to do the rallies again. He needs to do at least one of those a month in key areas, but we're going to have to build up our own infrastructure and do a rapid strike force like we did in the campaign. That's against these fake news journalists, at least, that are putting out this bullshit. We have to, I'm talking dig deep into their personal lives and drag all the skeletons out of their closets, put the spotlight on them. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, journalism on journalists. I've been working on a project just of that nature, by the way, actually. And I do have some big backers on that, but it got pushed back a little bit because of so many other developments. But yeah, you're right. We need journalism on journalism, or journalism on journalists. Thanks for your call. Hi, we got Pennsylvania on the line. How you doing?
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Doing great.
I just got one quick question. Why are college campuses so biased in favor of the left?
Because the college professors took over the baby boomer era. They came of age during the Vietnam War and were influenced by communism and by radical left-wing orthodoxy.
Can you hear me?
And they took over.
Yeah.
They took over as college campuses, and they run them now. And they're brainwashing and indoctrinating students into this radical Marxist agenda. Does that answer your question?
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as a conservative student on campus? Like, is there anything like I should or shouldn't do, really?
Yeah, you got to watch your back. You got to find out who your tribe is. You have to find out people who think like you, and you have to avoid the indoctrination. When I was in college, I don't know if you can do it anymore because of microaggression. When I was in college, you could still argue. I graduated in 2001. So you could actually, in college, argue. Now, the class would hate me and give me dirty looks, but the liberal professors at the time would even encourage it. They were glad to have a debate. So I was never penalized for having more conventional right-wing views. I don't know if you can do that anymore. Can you even do that anymore?
No, not really. I mean, if you say like something questionable about immigration or Black Lives Matter, you're pretty much just called a racist.
Yeah, that's what I figured, and you'll get penalized, maybe expelled. So, you just got to keep reading. Start a philosophy club. Try to get student activities money, and then decide how hardcore you want to go. There are people bringing Milo to speak on college campus. So find out how hardcore you want to go, and be willing to push back.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for the call.
Taking my call.
Appreciate it. Have a good night. Hi, we have a caller from Detroit. How you doing?
Hi, Mike. Long-time listener. I'm 19 years old at University of Detroit Mercy. What I wanted to talk about was one of your tweets you had a couple days ago where you explained how the left talks about Harry Potter in public, yet 50 Shades of Grey in private. What I really loved about that was that it showed to me, I think, how a lot of people kind of are obsessed with this kind of like paganism type shit in the culture, and it really reminded me of Camille Paglia's work. I don't know if you've ever heard of her or her books, but you would love her. And I'm a student. I'm a philosophy major, and what I found was a lot of the leftist liberalism, a lot of these movements come from the works of Rousseau. Yet that paganism stuff, that 50 Shades of Grey, Harry Potter, it kind of comes from sadism, right? Marquis de Sade stuff. And I know that you are more read in that type of subject. So, do you understand why there would be some sort of weird misconnection between liberalism coming from Rousseau, yet they still worship spirit cooking and they still do 50 Shades of Grey stuff like that?
Well, the interesting thing, because you're 19, is when I was 19, it was all about Earth Day. And it was called Gaia worship, Gaia. And the occult was based on, I love nature, hug trees. Have you ever heard the expression tree hugger?
Of course.
So yeah, they call you a tree hugger. Well, they were literally worshiping nature. The reason for that is because man and women, mankind has a spirit gene. Every historical civilization has been based on religion. Every human being, every human culture has had a religion and some kind of contact with their version of the divine. If you tell people there is no God and that God is dead and God doesn't exist, people aren't going to suddenly stop believing in some kind of higher power, but instead what they do is they find the higher power in Earth. And then maybe they don't like that. Now they find the higher power in Harry Potter and in the world of magic.
Well, it just seems to me that it's interesting because you say the power is in the Earth, yet you have people kind of, again, like that fascism stuff, where they find the power in the state. The state becomes the new God.
Right.
Is there a transition that happens between worship of Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, and then turning that into more man-made state government?
It's going to be cyclical. Remember that every generation wants to rebel, and this has been shown throughout culture. Every generation wants to rebel against the previous generation. So if my generation was more about worshiping the nature, then the new generation isn't going to want to worship nature, because then you're a conformist and you're just like your parents and you want to be edgy and cool. So you're going to start worshiping something else, and you're going to worship maybe the state. There's also a lot of worship of sex, especially amongst younger women. They worship older men, which is an interesting development. Young college women all want to date older men. And by older men, I don't mean 25. I mean 35, 45. that's another sort of substitute for a power that's higher than they are, bigger than they are. I don't know what the next generation will worship, but there's always going to be a need to worship something.
Would you say that we are in this cycle of decadence? I always believed that we were in this cycle of decadence, and then my thought was, well, I guess if Trump won, there would be kind of a renaissance and more kind of like Schiller philosophy, like German aesthetic philosophy.
Aestheticism,
right?
yeah.
The cycle of decadence would kind of end or something. Do you have any thoughts on like that?
So are you spreading the German idealism message to the world?
Am I? Oh,
Well, that's a counterculture too. That's a counterculture also that I've watched on the internet, where people are trying to turn to a classical aesthetic, a more clean and pure outlook on living. So that's a different counterculture too. So there's a lot of different countercultures going on, where there are a lot of people now who are completely, utterly depraved, debased, and decadent. And then there's a counterculture that isn't as strong, that's picking up force, where they're trying to be more pure, more aesthetic. Who knows? But it does go in cycles.
That would come from older countries, right? I know you always talk about how the nuclear family is the best way. Now, I had a kind of different theory about it, is that there's two different types of families, the nuclear family and the complex family. And that's kind of I'm looking at it from the way Ann Coulter kind of talks about it, in the sense of you got Mexicans or Italian families, a lot of Catholic areas versus Protestant places. And the difference would be that you had structured areas, right, where it's very efficient, very rigorous, and very religious, right? The only downside, I would say, is that there would be no emotional support in that sense, versus Italian families, Mexican families, Catholics, where they're very large, very emotionally supportive, yet you have a likelier chance to be lazy or corrupt.
Oh no, I believe in the extended family model. The nuclear family. There's more nuance to my view. My view is that you need a nuclear family. You need to raise a child in a functional home environment. The nuclear family tends to be that. But I'm a big proponent of the extended family. Right now, Shauna's mom is downstairs hanging out with the baby. Today, so I actually moved to be close to my daughter's grandparents. That's why I live here.
Shauna's Persian or something, right?
Yeah.
It's good that you come from more of a, I guess, middle America Christian
very
background.
white, very white Christian.
Right?
Yeah, I'm definitely from a very white. It's hard to have had more of a white Christian background, except we grew up poor, so we didn't have that middle class experience. But in terms of whatever, the iconic white Christian look is, where, even if you're poor, you have a yard, you learn how to ride a bike, things that people don't do anymore that I thought everybody did. Like when I grew up, even if you're poor, you still had a yard, because real estate was cheap and there were still factory jobs. So you could be poor and still have a house with a yard. And now people find that crazy. They can't believe it.
Work ethic too.
Yeah,
and like that too.
And there were actual jobs available, so it was a different realm. But yeah, exactly. I believe strongly in the support of the extended family, because otherwise it's just a husband and wife, or a man and a woman sitting in the same room staring at each other with a baby.
Well, also you have people who are, I would say, undeveloped, right? Like children, in the sense, emotional children raising children, right? If it's just the mom and the dad, you have no wisdom from the mother, no wisdom from the uncle, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you need wisdom from a lot of people. You need a lot of perspectives, and as a parent, you need support. It's a lot of work, especially early on. If you read the studies of happiness in terms of a marriage, if you get married and you have a kid, your relationship actually declines that first year to 50% of the level it was before. So if your love was an 8 and you have a kid, your love is now a 4. It's miserable, right? Well,
so it goes against that idea that kids make the relationship stronger.
Children, that's the worst thing you can do. There's a great book called Baby Brain Rules. Before you ever have a kid, read the book, The Baby Brain Rules. Look at the graph of happiness and what happens after you have a kid. But if you have an extended family, your happiness doesn't decline, because you have more support, you have more emotionally involved people. Grandparents have been waiting for the grandchild because they have empty nest syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I bet you probably have seen this, where you see people kind of become like teen mothers and stuff.
Right.
Yet over at the end of their life, they're happier because you can see your whole family tree. Versus what? You know, a New York like liberal woman does her whole career and then she kind of dies and that's it. You know, comparing the happiness.
Yeah, I agree. So thanks for your call. We're going to wrap this show up. I appreciate everybody who called in. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call. I just realized I went over a little bit. It's only 8 o'clock for me, but it is 11 o'clock for the people on the right side, 11 p.m. Very, very late for them. So I don't like to keep them over. I actually try to end it a little bit before the show. But we were having a good conversation about aesthetic philosophy and family. So my apologies to the right side crew. I always try to end a little bit soon because I know that you're busy and you got a lot to do. So thanks for tuning in to The Right Mindset. We have to figure out why right side is being censored. This is not good. We got to figure it out. We got to get to the bottom of it. We will figure it out. And I have a new chair coming in, by the way. I'll talk about the new chair. This chair, I'll tell you the best chair to buy, but we'll do that maybe this Friday. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to have another episode for you this Friday. Should be this Friday, unless something comes up, but I don't think it will. Thanks for tuning in. This is Mike Cernovich, DangerandPlay.com, Gorilla Mindset. You're watching The Right Mindset.